Hey everybody, morning. And before you get too stuck in where we dipped down to, look at that. We're basically held the 5250 area. I mean, right on it. We dip below, getting a green candle so far today. That's right where we needed to hold. Right in there. Now, be careful. You know, if we start making a lower low than what we made overnight, if we get back below this low, all right here, we get back below that, game on for going lower. So, there you go. There you go. That's it. Right there. That's the line. Got to watch. If we turn sour today, get below that, setting the bias for the market to go down. If we start blasting on higher, next target up, right there. Simple as that. Simple as that. And I need to fix the fibs now because we had those yesterday. And there we go. So the bigger resistance right there at this point. Get back above that, going higher. If we break down below this level right down here, 5230 overnight, going on down. Right there. Now it'll probably do an extension, a bounce before we do that. But there you go. That's the way the market's going to go. Anyway, welcome everybody. Eric, Larry, Andreas, Don, Maurizio, Mary, Donald, Francois, Rex, Ted, Ryan, Robert, Sergio, Valerie, Muku, John, Gary, Wade, Brian, Ed, Doris, Craig, Alan, JB, David, Al, Robert, Rob, Kenneth, Arturo, Kimberly, my favorite subscriber in the whole world, Jeff, George, Jason, welcome everybody. If you want to chat with me, like all the people saying, hey, good morning, all you got to do, click the button over here in the bottom corner, the green logo, and be a subscriber on the channel. A few seconds later, you can chat while I'm live. If I'm no longer live, you'll have to leave a comment down below or click the more button down under the description here. And for $5, you can come join the Market Roadmap and get into Discord where I hang out the rest of the day, share tidbits here and there when there's stuff to share and, you know, chart of the week and all sorts of other fun stuff. So come join a community of like-minded traders. Good morning from the road, Rongamer. Be careful. Don't text and drive. Anyway, so they have that voice thing for, right? Yeah, nice shirt. You like it? I got a few extra shirts that aren't just plain color, but I'm a plain color kind of guy most of the time. Anyway. Alrighty. So that's the S&P or ES right there so far. Now, why ES? If you don't know, like ES is the S&P 500 futures, right? That's what it says right there. S&P 500 E-mini futures. You may not understand that, but they trade 23 hours a day, 6 days a week. Saturday's the only day we don't get any data. They actually open on Sunday at 6 p.m. and keep going until Friday at 5 p.m. Then close up the shop for the weekend. And I like it because it doesn't really leave gaps. When you look at the cash index here, that's a whole different story, right? There's a lot of gaps in here, right? There's a bunch of missing price action. But when we look at the futures, it's pretty complete, right? That's like a normal stock chart. We pretty much have a complete picture. So I like to use the futures because it tends to tell us the better story. But, you know, sometimes there's divergences between the cash index and the futures. And right now, that's a little bit what we got going on. So that gives me uncertainty on which direction we're actually going to go right now, today. The reaction on PCE, you can see it right there. Boom. But we stopped. Popped up and faded very quickly. That's why I warn about breaking lower than the low right there. That low was at 6:50 this morning Eastern time, and then we just popped up here, and we're here at 8:50. You know, 2 hours later, we're all the way up here. So we went up 40 points in 2 hours. Just kind of ridiculous. And so we'll probably do a retrace. the whole thing. Do we hold it or do we fold it? That'll be the whole test here. Now, maybe it's a 15-minute roadmap. We broke down below it back here on Tuesday and been below it, and broke above finally on the 15-minute, the 30-minute. We just came up and tagged. Just barely tagged. Still below it. So we haven't tipped the odds to going higher necessarily. So, bum, 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 bum. I don't know. And NASDAQ, this is the QQQ futures, NASDAQ futures. Maybe NDX is what you know. Maybe QQQ is what you know. But NQ right here is the futures for it. And, well, it's an interesting story we've got here. We did tag the extension. Like, that was all we needed. That pullback, we rallied up, stopped right there. We've broken down back below the highs, but not exactly. We broke back below the highs as far as the tails go. But if we look at the candle bodies, something more like that right there. And look, we're kind of holding that right there. So it's retesting the highs still. What that can lead to is an extension that would take us up here. Bum, 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 bum. So it's definitely not decided yet which way we're going. Not decided yet. Unfortunately, the market's really good about providing clarity when it provides clarity and providing a bunch of mucky mud when it's uncertain. And right now, a little bit uncertain. So anyway, PCE came in today, and we'll have to rally this, or refresh this, refresh. So we had PCE coming in today, and came in light. Interesting. Didn't figure they'd do it that way, but hey, month over month came in. That's showing. So I guess after inflation came in hot with the CPI last month, we had to push it the other way this month, right? I mean, with the PCE, had to push it the other way. And let's see, let me pull up the chart, show you kind of how these things are broken up here. Bum, 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 bum. Right here. So CPI, they basically measure very similar, the same thing, but in different weights. That's kind of the long and the short of what I would say. So, food actually less in PCE. I don't know about you. I spend a lot of my money on food. Housing, less in PCE. Transportation, less. I mean, that's in my average daily life. Food, housing, transportation. That's kind of, that's what I spend most of my life doing. Medical care, I don't go to the doctor that almost ever. But much larger chunk here. And then other goods and services are a much bigger chunk right there. And recreation, even a bigger chunk. So it's kind of interesting, the different weights there. Housing has a large component in CPI. So rent going up, that makes CPI going up. Now, transportation, I don't know if they put fuel prices in transportation or if they put it in the other stuff category. But fuel prices going up has definitely been pushing both of these up when it goes up, and when it goes down, like it did just recently. We took a little dive between the CPI read and the PCE read. Kind of pushes it the other way. So go figure, right? Which one's better? Powell likes this one. It's more balanced, he says. And less weighting on housing. But if you look at it, where do you spend most of your money? Think about it. Where do you, it's kind of a question for you. Where do you spend most of your money? I mean, my house payment is definitely a big chunk of mine. Probably one of the biggest checks I write every month. So anyway, I digress. So coming in a little light, but really it's just in line with the historical. I mean, look right back here, just in line with the historical. So is that a win for the inflation fight? Are they going to be able to take that when we do the FOMC meeting here on the 12th? Are they going to be able to cut a rate? That's a big question, right? What do you think? They're going to hold? They're going to fold? They're going to raise rates? I give low odds to raising rates, but when we look at the DGS2, Delta Golf CR2, right here, says we're going to hold steady. That's what it shows right now. That's right there. That's the target rate. We've been hanging right in the middle with the Fed funds. And if you wonder what this chart is, you're like, JT, what the devil is this chart? This is Delta Golf CR2, the 2-year constant maturity rate right there. And then you add the compare button right here. You type in FED, FUNDS, Fed funds rate right there. The blue line is the DGS2, Delta Golf CR2, 2-year constant maturity rate. The orange line is the Fed funds rate. Now, for anybody that thinks that the Fed sets the rate for the market, look at this. DGS2 started climbing way before the Fed ever raised their rate. They're always chasing. Look, always. It's not just recently. Look, let's go back, way back. 04, even back here. They were chasing on the way down in the dot-com bust, got a little ahead, and chased it all the way to the bottom. Chased it back up into the housing crisis. You see, this is the dot-com bust when the orange got above the blue. This was the housing crisis when the orange got above the blue. This is the little freak out we had. They were, what do they call it? The, oh gosh, pulling a blank. Taper tantrum, that's what they called it. Taper tantrum right there. In late 18, and that, funny enough, it showed up right in the charts that we crossed it right there, and it led to COVID. You can say COVID was just like this freak thing, but it actually showed up in the charts before that we were going to do a crash, before it actually happened. Really mind bender for a lot of people. And then right now, we're above. Now, the thing that I've speculated for a while is that maybe we actually go back into a rate raise if the blue breaks back above the Fed funds rate. It very well could. We're on the path here. If we break back above, they're going to have to raise rates more. Even if they cut, they're going to have to raise rates more. And then up here may be the big problem. Like this may be a little temporary hold on the way up. Dun, 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 dun. We did see that back before a little bit. It's been way before my trading time. We had a period of choppiness. But most of us that are trading these days haven't seen a period right like this right now. We haven't traded through one of these yet. So this is this was the thing that nobody was talking about, is that we might go up to 8-9%. What's that going to do to like mortgages? It's going to completely like freeze that market. I know several people in my circle of people I know that bought houses just in the last year or so, maybe year and a half, and they took a rate that they couldn't really afford the payments for, with the hopes that they're going to be able to refinance when the Fed does all these rate cuts. Guess what? I don't think there's rate cuts coming. I mean, maybe the Fed does bump the rate down and goose the market, but then inflation is going to come ripping back. We're going to be up here. We're probably going to do this. And this was pretty rough on the market right here, right? But now we're sitting at all-time highs. So, if raising rates is so bad for the market, why are we sitting at right up near all-time highs on S&P and NASDAQ? And think about it. Think about it. What happens when we cut rates? You can see it right here. When the Fed's cutting rates, what was that? Dot-com bust. When the Fed was cutting rates right here, what was that? Housing crisis, right? Great financial crisis. Fed was cutting rates here, COVID. If the Fed starts cutting rates now, what happens? Not going to be good. Whatever it is. That's counter to every other mainstream media outlet out there, right? You let me know in the chat. I mean, if you think I'm wrong, I welcome you to tell me how wrong I am. The proof is right there on the chart. The Fed cutting rates is not where we experience bullishness in the market. It's not good for the market, period. Like, not good for us traders. Think about it. I'd kind of rather see the rates keep on going higher. Honestly. So, if this is new information for you, or you like it, you learned something, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you appreciate it. And we'll do more content like this. But this is don't listen to the mainstream media parrots. All right. Yeah, that's what led to the problems is the inversion. The Fed being above their market rate. The market rate actually started down before anything. So it's just another indicator. Just another indicator. It's not the cause. It's just another indicator. When the Fed gets above the market rate, it's another indicator that problems are brewing. Bum, 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 bum. Moving on. So Russell over here. I drew that big arrow, yesterday? Rally right back up. Test that spot. We turn down from there. Coming down to the roadmap line. That could be what we're doing. Could be what we're doing. Right there. Be prepared. Could be another few days. And that could push. We could see a massive rally in ES, or we could just see some softness. So ES is actually the one that's unclear right now. NQ, holding support, could bounce, but if we start breaking down, that starts agreeing more with ES. That looks like we're getting muddy. So that's kind of the low on NQ is also important. That 18.5-ish zone right there. We start pushing down below that. Watch out for a bigger, deeper push lower. Oil. Look at that. It took it right back. 1 day up, 2 days back down, and we're just sitting back in this support zone. Support. This is where we've had support for, the entire month of May. And support. Got a little rally, found resistance, support. Got a little rally, met resistance, support. We've tested this zone look at that, almost every day this month. That was resistance from below. We went down a little bit more to the next support zone, came back up through, and we're right back down here to wrap up the month. So a big month of sideways choppy, nothing on oil. Tried to push out the bottom, tried to push out the top. That just led to more indecision at this point. Very curious at this point, which way are we going to go? I was encouraged when we got this, but then we took it right back, and it has muddied the waters at this point. So we've tried to break up, we've tried to break down, and we're sitting right in the freaking middle. That's indecision. That's, like I said a couple weeks ago, stay at rest is what we're likely to keep doing. We tried to break out, tried to break down, just sitting at rest. It's probably what we're going to continue to do until something changes. An object at rest tends to remain at rest, as they say. Gold breaking above that resistance zone I was talking about yesterday. Yesterday couldn't do it. Today looks like we're going to do it. And look at this. If you jump down on the small time frame here, look at this gold rally. Look at that. On that 830 PCE right there. Gold liked it, but it might take it all the way right back. Might take it right back. And then the market's open. BTU hitting the target. Look at that beautiful, beautiful trade right there. Look at that. Boom, right to the target. Right there to the target. This pattern I talk about all the time, the market roadmap pattern, that's a 30-minute setup right there. I have automated alerts for my Termite Trading Lab people. Look at that. So beautiful. Right up into the target. Beautiful. Works on all time frames. Bitcoin, jump back over, finish talking about the just consolidating high here. Still above. See this downtrend of highs? We broke above it, back tested it, still above it, still gives us slightly upward bias, but at odds with that is the fact that we're still at a lower high. I give it like maybe 55%. You know, when I say biased higher, it's like 55-45 at this point. If we break down below these, tips the odds back to 60%. We're probably going lower. If we break above here, we're probably tipping it up to like 70% and maybe 80%. We're going to go on up here. We do have the pattern to go higher. We're just slightly biased long at this point, but it's like a little bit of a coin flip. It's not exactly clear. As the market's made a really good job of mucking it all up. And we may, I hope we don't, but we may just keep mucking everything up for another 2 weeks until that FOMC meeting on the 12th. And, well, I just made money on that BTU trade. I just got the fill right there. And fill at the target. So Ethereum here, just parking, consolidating. Are we going to spend 2 weeks doing that? Just consolidating? I mean, look, that's almost, it seems like every day has the same size candle. That's kind of weird. Kind of weird. Last time we saw this kind of action was down here when nothing was going on. Just same size candle, nothing really going on. Could be like oil. We just drift sideways for a while. Dollar. For those that like to follow the dollar, we're on the upper side of the roadmap line. We haven't gotten a close below it. Still testing it, not getting off of it. Not necessarily bullish, but not necessarily bearish. And it's kind of like 55% tip the odds higher, 45 lower. But if we can break back above this zone, we're probably cruising right up here toward this 108.50 area. Get the extensions. It's set up to go higher, but this is overlapping this prior high, which makes it just mucky, sloppy price action. Unclear a bit. So could that have been the 3-wave high right there? And this is a start of something more bearish, possibly, but in the mid 90s here would be the target on the downside, 108.50 on the upside. That one's unclear at the moment while it's just sits there on the roadmap line. Unclear all over the place. LPA, look at that thing just going absolutely freaking crazy. If you bought into that one at 13, congratulations. Just absolutely nuts. Now, stuff that does absolutely nuts, highly likely to come absolutely nuts right back down. MSTR just chopping. This was, it's up 55 off that low, gap up, but watch out. That's resistance. If we don't start getting out of here, if Bitcoin shows any weakness at all, that might flash right back down here to the roadmap line very quickly. Ulta was popping. Now we're dropping, probably heading down to the target zone. Target zone right down there. That's where I expect it to go. Nvidia was popping. Now we're showing a little bit of softness. A little bit of softness all over the place here. Let's roll back and look at the ES. What are we doing? Taking it back. Zoom down. Yep. Coming down. Kind of need to hold this area. If we get where we're testing the 5 minute, that's not going to be very strong. 5 minutes pretty flat. 15 minute would be where I want to see this hold. Break back above here. We can do that. Indicates we're going bullish, but and then 30 minute, we need to get back above that roadmap line there. I don't know. It's not giving me the warm fuzzy. Nvidia. Right up at the target. Can we make the next target? Right up here, 1250, possibly 1300. That'll start putting Nvidia up near the biggest company in the land. Can we do it? I don't know. We have a split coming up on Monday the 10th. Right there. ZS. Still below the roadmap line. We did touch into the zone yesterday, gapping up. That could be the bottom. That was all I was really looking for, was to touch back into that consolidation zone. That could be it. So watch for the move back above the roadmap line right here. Roadmap line, you want it? It's in the description. Click the more button, like $5. Pop it right on a trading view chart with the easy button. And if you're more of a DIYer, I have videos in the catalog. Like after we're done here, you just go watch the catalog and find the one I'm like, my favorite indicator or whatever it is. And I give you the code. I tell you how to use it, all that stuff right in the video. So if you're like $5 is too much for me, JT, that's cool too. I got it for free. So right there, a break above that 618 level, 222 would indicate we're coming on up here. And if we put on my new set of fibs here, 275 would be the higher likelihood target right there. And the statistics on that, look at that, 100%. It's only done it 3 times in the past. 100% of the time we bounced off the roadmap line. On the daily, we hit the 1.1448, which is 90% of the way to the 1272. CRWD, probably coming on down. AMBA, really trying to get a reversal going here, but this has not been looking super awesome. You know what I tell you, when things go exponential up, look. That exponential up, just taking off like a rocket, right back down. Right back down. It's just part of the market psychology. If you've never seen this chart right here, it's a classic. This is classic human behavior right here. Classic human behavior. So that's why things that go up exponentially tend to come back down after a period of complacency and anxiety, and then it flushes back out. You see that complacency, denial, right back down. I don't know that that's done yet. I mean, it's going to go through a period of a little bit more sideways. We're still at lower highs. You know, oh, look at that. Right down to the target zone. Sometimes I get lucky on this stuff right there. Got lucky again on that call. That could be the bottom for that one. Could. Got to watch for a break back above the roadmap line here. And then we got to get back above the 618, which at this point, pull it down here. Gonna have to break above this. And we have a little gap down right there that we got to contend with. Maybe that high that we got to break above. So it's got a lot of resistance to going higher, but it can just turn and burn here. Target would be right up here if we do it. Right up around 845. If we can get it going. Would you buy now? I mean, we could come down to this support box right here. So are you willing to risk $150, $120, $150 versus making $200? I don't know. I don't know if that's right for you or not. All right. Because remember, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. Just this presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything. All right? No stocks, no options, no bonds, no forex, no futures, no cryptos, no treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. There's substantial risk of loss. If you desire personal financial advice, you're like, JT, what do I do? You got to hire and consult a financial advisor. It's not what I'm doing at all. So if you buy here, it's $120 risk potentially. If it shows you you're wrong, don't double down. All right, don't stay wrong. That's where it costs you the big money in the market. If it proves that you're wrong, just get out. All right, being wrong doesn't really cost you big money. Staying wrong in the market costs you the big money. That's where you double down, triple down, quadruple down, keep adding a losing position. Don't stay wrong. All right, don't stay wrong. NVDX right up at the targets. That could be indicating that we're done on NVIDIA. Could be, but it could keep going. Could keep going. I mean, we kept going last time. FNGU. That one is at the target. I do, if we're going to go higher, probably going to hold right here. We retested these highs and push the extension on up to 417. If we start getting below about 330, odds are we're coming back down here to 280-ish. That is 3x leverage. Leverage. Be careful on leverage right there. GPS Gap Stores is curious right there. Is it going to do the ANF thing? Get the daily close up here. Indicates we're going up to 29 at the minimum, if not a little higher. And we'll see. ANF has been absolute nuts. But that may be the end of that one. It may come back really hard right back to the roadmap line. When exponential, watch for the drop right there. And coin. Sitting at resistance. Can't break above. That may result in the drop down here. Fairly easy. That right there. That'd be an echo of this move right here. This move down. Echoed right off of that. Puts us right there. So wait, corrections. Many corrections will do an echo or a slight extension, which is the 1272 or 1618 right there. That puts the, I say 80% of the time, we're going to come down into this zone right here if we echo that move. NVDU, maybe it's only 70% of the time. I don't have a good statistic on it, but it's, higher than 50% of the time we're going to echo that move. At least, if not extend it. And that one also indicating potentially being fully cooked on NVDU. Digital health acquisition, SPAC. Don't play with SPACs. That's dangerous. Until they become full-fledged companies, it's like avoiding the IPO process. Oh, look at that. QCOM right up to the zone. Now, do we retrace back and test this orange box? It comes from this prior high all the way back here in 22. Retest it and potentially go higher. Or do we break down back down below and go on a bigger correction? That's the question. But further upside right now, not the most likely on QCOM at the moment. Till we do some correction action and hold support. Go retest some support. PANW, rejected off of that resistance. Right back down to the roadmap line. I hold 5 shares of PANW. 5 whole shares. 5 shares. And looking for this pop. It's going from 300 to 400. Think about it. That's 30% just on shares. That's why I hold 5 shares. And like, how long is it going to take? That's the question, right? Like, be like, JT, I want to play options on this. I don't know how long it's going to take. We could consolidate here for a while. We didn't do the watermelon seed squeeze. We only did a pop, and broke above. But we came back to the roadmap line. So this really doesn't play in at this point. We kind of have more of a channeling thing going. See that right there? The channeling thing. We could come back down to this support very easily. Then we could rally back up to that resistance. And then we could come back to that support. Very easily, that could be what we do for the next, through the summer on PANW. Lululemon dropped out back down to consolidation. This tips the odds that we're going to see an extension lower, maybe down to about 220. It's not a guarantee. It's not high probability necessarily. It just kind of tips the odds that we're likely to see a further decline. But we could hold this consolidation because it's been a support resistance zone for quite a while. This goes all the way back to June 2020 right here. This zone. You extend it on over. Extend it on over, extend it on over. You see how it's kind of a flip point? Finding support. Getting below, finding resistance, finding support, mucking it up in there. Support. Now we're underneath it. Resistance. Can we get out of there? We'll find out. We're about to find out. It would look really nice and clean if we just dip down in here, but could just hold that and turn higher. Got to get above the roadmap line there. Abercrombie Fitch, like I said, maybe coming back down to the roadmap line. That's just absolutely crazy on the upside. Short squeeze-ish, USD, almost the same chart. That's kind of funny. Look at that. Two completely different markets. That just shows you the insanity out there in the markets. Same pattern, two different markets. That's semiconductors on a leveraged way. That's clothing. Chart looks almost the same. Just crazy. Same pattern. NVDL, same pattern. Of course, that's semiconductors. And Connell. Was this the bounce and we're going higher, or do we need one more flush down? That's the big question. This is a leveraged on coin, and I don't know. I think coin chart needs a little bit more correction, but we'll see. Leverage does not always follow my patterns. NVO nor Novadisk. These guys, they're on a gold mine with the GLP-1 drugs. Last 3 years, just been absolutely crushing it. Way outperforming even NVIDIA and AI. Look at that, 500% up. I mean, how high can it keep going? A lot higher. They're just getting started on these GLP-1 drugs. So if for some reason though they start killing people, like if it really starts like being bad and they're going to ban it, watch out for this to plummet. So VST, another absolute crazy up, and watch for the retrace. LABU, this is biotech and leverage. I mean, it's like double bad right there. Leverage and biotech. Oh, clicked the button too fast. There it is, biotech. So be careful. This is sitting below the roadmap line, below the downtrend. We did hold the box so far, but so upside target 140, downside target 10. That's a big range. All right, it's like 90% down or like 40% up. Be careful on that one. DJT sitting at this is like so many other charts. We've retraced, come back up, found resistance, 3 times in a row. Watch out for the bigger flush. All it takes. It's not about any kind of political anything. This is just chart patterns. I'm going to have to switch it to log mode so it works. That move echoed right there. I mean, same thing I talked about earlier. Same thing as coin, same thing as all the others. Echoing that move right off of that puts us right down in this zone. Right there. Right around $16. We've got to put it on log mode because it moved more than $50. So. DPST. Just churning. Slightly downward bias. These are lower highs. I wouldn't expect it to do anything at the moment. ASN. Put me back on the right side out of the way of the information here. It looks pretty bad too, even though it's on the poppers list. And BLV. Vanguard long-term bond ETF. You tell me, does that look like bullish price action? I mean, it looks like that's going to continue like that. There's no breakout yet. I mean, possibly that was a bottom, but that's holding the downtrend, so don't look good to me so far. That one also doesn't look so good so far. If we can break above that 108.60, starts looking better, but that's BlackRock's. This is Vanguard's. And stuff on the decliners list. Oh, look at that. Ouch. MDB. Oh. Beat on the top, beat on the bottom, still got murderized. Ooh. Where is the support? We're at it. We got to hold this right here. If we can hold that, turn green. We got a large gap fill to go, but that could be the retrace that it needed to go higher. And maybe like, well, how much higher are we looking here? JT, what are you talking? What you talking? It would be this low, this high, that low. Potential. Look at these numbers. Look at these numbers. Talking about a 4x to possibly 6x. That'd be pretty sweet. How long? Gosh, it could take a while. I mean, look how long this one took. October 22, February 24. Could easily double or triple that. It's gonna be out to 26 maybe longer. Yeah. I do caution. That is a lower high at this point. We will have a significant resistance right in the zone. But that's what we got set up. I might pick up a few shares just to see if I can do it. Dell, probably going to come back to the roadmap line after going crazy up, crazy right back down to 100 area. Viva Systems, getting slammed back down. If we get the close down in here, watch for the extension down to 130 area. Sentinel 1. That one may go on extension down into the $10 area. SMMT. Wow. That's just crazy. That's biotech for you. Biotech being crazy. GDXJ, new position. XOP, new position. Right there. EDU, just chopping around. Looks like it's being soft. If we can break back above this 90 area, we can go higher. There's another position on BP. That means oil must be looking pretty good. FLUT. Looking like we're going on down to this zone right here. SMFL. Smart for life. That just looks like an absolute dumpster fire right there. Absolute dumpster fire. I think this was on here yesterday. Look at a split, 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 split. Reverse splits. I mean, that was 1, 2, 3, 4 in the last year. That's like 1 a quarter. You don't think it's going to keep going down? I mean, be careful on stuff like that. And Delta Dog, Data Dog. This could be played out to the upside and need this bigger retrace right here. Be careful. Watch out. It's not very... It doesn't look complete right there. We could easily see another flush. Could easily do like MDB here. and just like, oh my gosh. So be careful that that might happen. Left that big gap there. May go retest it. May go retest it. This is a much lower high. We didn't even get up near the prior high, kind of like we did on MDB over here. We kind of got up near the prior high, kind of, sort of, not, I mean, not perfectly close, but in the vicinity. We were up above all this other stuff. Whereas Datadog here, we didn't really beat this stuff over here. Be careful. It could just be part of a bigger correction too. Like, that could be the first move down. What if we echo that? Hey, look at this. Look at this real quick. Clean this up. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 right there. Only a 3-wave move. That's usually a sign of a correction. Set right at the 618. That's the resistance. See that right there? See that 618? That pink line? So if we echo that first move down, this is the caution on Datadog right here. Could take it down to 40. Maybe like, no way, JT. Yeah. Yes way. It's on the chart. That could easily do that. All right. Watch out. Watch out, chasing Datadog. Watch out, watch out. Doesn't matter if they've been beaten on earnings or not. Got earnings coming up here in June. June? No, August. For the period ending in June. August. So watch out for August. I could take a dump. Just be careful. It could take a while. Doesn't have to go that fast. It could take much longer. All right. Bias for the day. Super cautious here. Super cautious. That's what I would say. If anything I said was helpful, beneficial, give me a thumbs up, a like, interactive with the video, share with somebody. And very curious on this. If we start breaking below support. Yes, definitely taking it back here. Certainly not what I wanted to see holding here. Getting below. This may turn kind of sour. Watch out. We're about to take the entire PCE move back. It's not going to be good. Already took it back over here. Can we hold that higher low, or do we break down? That's on the cash index here. That's kind of the thing. Is that just the 618 retrace and we go higher, or are we going to break below yesterday's low at the close, right near the close, and get continuation lower? This will be the tell. We're going to find out here pretty quickly, probably. So pretty quickly, as in probably today, not necessarily like the next 5 minutes. All right, everybody. Hope you have so what we've got to do to prove that we're going higher at this point, this move up, this retrace, got to get above, got to make it up to this 52.90 area. This next move needs to do that. Then we need to retrace about like this. Maybe back to the roadmap line. Whatever we do, we got to hold above this and then make a fifth move up like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then whatever we retrace, if we hold a higher low, we're likely going on up. So that could all play out in the next couple hours. We'll see. If it just messes around here, it's indicative that we're probably going to flush it on down. If we get lower than here, probably going to do a corrective rally for the next couple weeks, maybe into the FOMC, and then probably get a bigger down at the FOMC meeting. There you go. That's how I kind of put this stuff together. All right. Have a great day, everybody. I'll be in Discord. And like I said, give me a like if you liked it. If you didn't,